Now to the House of Commons, where Home Secretary Suella Braverman is addressing MPs after that High Court ruling ruled that the Rwanda plan was legal. Let's take the Commons.
For decades, they were told that this was immoral and that their concerns and opinions didn't matter. Even today, we see from certain quarters an unhealthy contempt for anyone who wants controlled migration. Such an attitude is unhelpful, Mr. Speaker. Moreover, it's fanciful. We do not have infinite capacity. Already, we are struggling to accommodate new arrivals, meaning we spend millions every day in hotel bills alone. We cannot tolerate people coming here illegally. It is not legitimate to leave a safe country like France to seek asylum in the United Kingdom. And we have to break the business model of the people smuggling gangs. Their trade in human cargo is evil and lethal, as we were tragically reminded very recently. There is a global migration crisis, and it requires international solutions. In April, my right honourable friend, the member for Whittam, backed by my right honourable friend, the member for Uxbridge and South Ruislip, signed a groundbreaking migration and economic development partnership with Rwanda. And they deserve enormous credit for their work on this. We agreed that people who come to the UK via dangerous, illegal and unnecessary means can be relocated to Rwanda to have their asylum claims considered there. Those in need of protection will be given up to 5 years of support, including education and employment training, along with help with integration, accommodation and healthcare. Being relocated to Rwanda is not a punishment, but an innovative way of addressing a major problem to redress the imbalance between illegal and legal migration routes. It will also ensure that those in genuine need of international protection are provided with it in Rwanda. It is a humane and practical alternative for those who come here through dangerous, illegal and unnecessary routes. And by making it clear that they cannot expect to stay in the UK, we will deter more people from coming here and make such routes unviable. There has been a great deal of misinformation about Rwanda. I visited Rwanda myself several years ago. She's a state party to the 1951 United Nations Refugee Convention and the 7 core United Nations Human Rights Conventions. It is a safe and dynamic country with a thriving economy. It has an excellent record of supporting refugees and vulnerable migrants. The UN has used Rwanda for the relocation of vulnerable migrants from Libya, and this was first funded by the European Union. Many migrants, including refugees, have already built excellent lives in Rwanda, and our partnership is a significant investment in that country and further strengthens our relationship. A myth still persists that the Home Office Permanent Secretary opposed this agreement. For the record, he did not. Nor did he assert that it is definitely poor value for money. He stated in his role as accounting officer that the policy is regular, proper and feasible, but there is not currently sufficient evidence to demonstrate value for money. As he would be the first to agree, it's for ministers to take decisions, having received officials' advice. And once the partnership is up and running, he will continue to monitor its efficacy, including value for money. Now, in June, the first plane was ready to relocate people to Rwanda. Our domestic courts, the High Court, the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court upheld our right to send the flight. However, following an order by an out-of-hours judge in the European Court of Human Rights, the flight was cancelled. The European Court of Human Rights did not rule that the policy or relocations were unlawful, but it prohibited the removal of specific people. This was a without notice order, and the UK was not invited to make representations to oppose it. Mr. Speaker, as a result, we've been unable to operate relocation flights pending ongoing legal proceedings. However, we have continued to prepare by issuing notices of intent for those eligible for relocation. And my right honourable friend, the Prime Minister, recently outlined a comprehensive new approach to illegal migration. Now, a judicial review was brought against the Rwanda Partnership by a number of organisations and individual asylum seekers. The first part of proceedings considered a case that the partnership is unlawful. Part 2 argued that UK domestic processes under the partnership were unfair. And Part 3 that the policy is contrary to data protection laws. Today, the High Court, in a judgment spanning over 130 pages, Lord Justice Lewis and Mr. Justice Swift held that it is indeed lawful for the government to make arrangements for relocating asylum seekers to Rwanda and for their asylum claims to be determined in Rwanda rather than in the United Kingdom. The court held further that the relocation of asylum seekers to Rwanda is consistent with the Refugee Convention and with the statutory and other legal obligations upon the government, including obligations imposed by the Human Rights Act. Mr. Speaker, this judgment thoroughly vindicates the Rwanda Partnership. Yeah. I spoke earlier today with my Rwandan counterpart, the Rwanda Minister Vincent Biruta, and we both confirmed our joint and steadfast resolve to deliver this partnership at scale as soon as possible. It's what the overwhelming majority of the British people want to see happen. The sooner it is up and running, the sooner we will break the business model of the evil gangs and bring an end to these illegal, unnecessary and unsafe channel crossings. Now that our courts have affirmed its legality, I invite the opposition to get behind this plan. Yeah. And I commend this statement to the House.
Yeah. I call the Shadow Home Secretary of